Hey guys, I'm Alistair from Trail & Kill, and today I'm reviewing the On Cloudeasy. So I'm really excited to be back once again reviewing another On running shoe. If you're not familiar with Trail & Kill, we are an online gear review website, and I've actually reviewed every On running shoe that's been released since the company started. So I've got a very broad understanding of how each On shoe compares to one another. So I'm very excited to be reviewing the Cloudeasy because it is another lifestyle shoe from On. It's not specifically targeted to runners or anyone wanting to do triathlon or anything too sporty in these shoes. It's a lifestyle everyday shoe or trainer. So obviously the most popular running shoe or lifestyle shoe from On Running is the On Cloud 5, which I actually have here. So it just happens to be in the same color as well. So that's how these two shoes compare. And I would say that they are actually fairly direct competitors for On Running. So I was excited to get hold of the Cloudeasy to see how it compared to the On Cloud 5. So, and I'm sure a lot of you guys and gals will want to know how it compares as well. So here I go, let's get started. Before I move on, please give this video a like, consider subscribing to our channel for more videos just like this one. It really helps our channel if you like it, and maybe share it with a friend who you think it will be helpful to as well. Okay then, so apart from the obvious style differences between the Cloudeasy and the Cloud 5, the Cloudeasy does look a lot like an all-birds shoe. I'm sure other people have noticed this, maybe you have, who's watching this now. I really like the style of Allbirds, and it's nice to see On has given their own twist on that style with the all knitted upper, thick laces, white sole. It feels very Allbirds to me, but with some Swiss flair on there. So I really like the style, but apart from the two different styles, this shoe actually weighs a little bit more than the On Cloud 5. So it weighs 8.7 ounces, whereas the On Cloud 5 weighs 8.5 ounces. So that's interesting because the Cloudeasy is actually made up of, I think it's 15 or so pieces, which is half as many pieces as any other On shoe. So I'm assuming that's also inclusive of the On Cloud 5 because I got that copy from the On website. So it's got half as many materials, but it's still a touch heavier than the On Cloud. So that's interesting. It really doesn't feel much heavier, and 0.2 of an ounce really isn't much heavier, to be honest anyway. So, but I thought I'd point that out. So they're very similar. I really like the full knitted upper in the Cloudeasy. It's super breathable, very comfortable. And although there are laces on the Cloudeasy, because the upper fits so snugly and it's so stretchy as well, you don't actually need to wear the laces with these shoes. It will stay on your foot nicely, and it will be very comfortable. But I like the laces. They kind of give it an extra style look to it. I think it looks cool. Yeah, I thought I'd mention you don't actually need the laces on these shoes to keep them on. And that's also interesting because the On Cloud 5 has elasticated laces, so it doesn't have a classic lacing system like this either. So they could both be used as a slip-on shoe. Looking to the outsole of the On Cloudeasy, if you can see here, in the mid to forefoot, there is a speed board on these On Cloudeasy, but the speed board doesn't run along the whole of the foot, doesn't run all the way along here, it's just the forefoot. So they managed to strip some weight from the shoes here by doing that. I've got to mention that the knit upper is made from 100% sustainable materials as well, so that's really nice. Yeah, going back to the outsole, there's some pretty good grip here. Nothing really to write home about. It's good enough for everyday wear. but you probably wouldn't want to take these on light trails or anything like that because you're likely to slip due to the lack of lugs on the bottom here. The Cloudtech midsole is very nice and cushy. It's a super comfortable shoe right out of the box, and it fits true to size as well. So if you're familiar with On shoes, or if you've bought a pair of Clouds in the past, then these shoes will fit you perfectly. They're very consistent on their sizing, so go with your normal size for these. Final things to mention on the On Cloudeasy then is there is an 8mm drop from heel to toe. Doesn't actually feel like 8mm. I would put it at 6mm, but it is 8mm. So that does put you in a slightly more forward-leaning stance. So they're very nice for walking. Will give you a good bit of forward propulsion with the speedboard and that kind of forward-leaning stance. So that's very nice. There's also a finger loop at the back here, so you can very easily slip these shoes on because they are basically a one-piece upper. It is very stretchy, but you will need to use this loop at the back just to slip them on, and that's very easy to do. If you haven't read my On Cloud 5 review, definitely go check that out on trailandkale.com. It's worth watching and reading because it is On's most popular shoe, and that is for a reason. That's one of their first shoes they released, and it's a damn good shoe, so definitely go read that one. My final thoughts on the On Cloudeasy then. What do I think about it? Is it worth your hard-earned money? Well, personally, I would say yes, it's definitely worth your money. It's $130, which is very reasonable for a all-day, everyday wear shoe like this. It's my second favorite shoe from On for everyday lifestyle. It is put slightly below the Cloud, just because I prefer the style of the Cloud, but there's a very similar feel to the actual comfort of the shoe and how it walks in the everyday. So very similar shoes, but I just slightly prefer the On Cloud 5. But that doesn't mean to say I'm not wearing this all the time as well. So I interchange these two shoes in my everyday lifestyle. Well, I hope you enjoyed this On Cloudeasy review. Please give this video a like if you did, and consider subscribing to our channel for more outdoor gear reviews that you can trust. And if you have used On running shoes before, whether it's a running shoe or an everyday lifestyle shoe, definitely let me know how you got on in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.